Roger that, real sweet.
They're on top of us! We can't stay here!
So where the hell are we?
Say we get out of here right now.
That is good advice.
Who are you?
Stay close.
Let's move.
How do we know she's on our side?
How long have you been awake?
30 years. They collected us first. We're livestock.
What are they after?
They're hungry.
She's kidding, right?
They will wipe out Earth.
Why don't we just take the fight to them?
All right, I'll admit it. I like her.
We got company!
Hey guys, welcome to The Composition Theory, the podcast where we dive deep into the creative process with filmmakers, musicians, and artists from all walks of life. I'm Rodney Luis Aquino, and riding shotgun with me as always is my outspoken buddy, Gary Orella. Today's guest is actor-director Max Martini. Welcome to the show, Max.
Hey, thanks for having me. Excited to be here, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And I was just watching the trailer for OSIRIS.
Yeah.
And wow, it's pretty intense. Can you tell me about how you came about doing that project?
Yeah, so the director, Will Kaufman, and we did a movie together called The Channel, which I believe it came out a couple years ago, maybe three. If you haven't seen it, great film. He's an action director, but the thing about Will that I love, which has kind of brought us to the second project together, is that he's a big fan of actors, and he wants to do more than just 90 minutes of stunts, right? He really wants to give actors the opportunity to bring some humanity to these characters that are, slaying aliens or whatever they're doing. And, but he gives you a little room to breathe as an actor, which is really nice and refreshing. It's kind of what, if you're an artist, it's sort of what you're looking for at the end of the day anyway. So he came to me with the script. He said, I got an alien movie, and, knowing what his process is, I said, yeah, let's do it, man. And, the channel for me was a great experience, and this one topped it. I wasn't sure it'd be able to,
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
the role that you had was military. Was there any kind of I guess some kind of training military wise that you go through?
Yeah, there's always some sort of a boot camp, some sort of a technical advisor on set, so we had both of those things. I brought on a buddy of mine that is a former SEAL Team 6 operator. He was there to do a boot camp with us. He was also on set the whole time to kind of make sure that we were, navigating this ship in a tactical way that was accurate and current, So yeah, we had him to lean back into and lean back on. And yeah, I mean, and for me, look, a lot of it is refresher stuff. I do a lot of military movies. I've done a ton of boot camps, and but I would say that as the years pass, that tactics evolve, and shooting stances evolve, and the way you hold your weapon evolves, and the way you clear a room evolves, and it's it's so you got to kind of stay current, and he did that with us. So and obviously the way these guys operate is very efficient and very smooth and very fast, so.
Wow, that's impressive. How long was the production in all?
All in, I think. Well, I was also a producer on it, so I was there probably for 3 months, maybe, and then we shot maybe for a month, maybe 6 weeks. Yeah.
Wow. Man, that's interesting. That's impressive. I've seen a lot of your films, like Captain Phillips, Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Man, Pacific Rim. It's impressive. Your past is very impressive.
Yeah, I've been fortunate to be part of some good stuff. Yeah.
Who was some of the most passionate people that you worked with as a director?
The most passionate? Guillermo del Toro maybe was the most passionate, I would say. Spielberg was also, but Guillermo is, wears his heart on his sleeve. I don't know if you he's a kid, he's like he's a kid that has $300 million to play with, and make it, whatever his wildest dreams, and bring those to the screen, and he's brilliant, man. And it was just amazing to watch him work and be part of his world, and to be chosen by him was incredible. Yeah. Every director that I've worked with brings something new, brings a different strength, to the table, and I've gotten something different from all of them, get that Pacific Rim. It was all green screen pretty much. So we were acting to laser pointers, so they'd put a red dot on the screen with a little laser pin. And that was the sea creature that, was about to kill you. So you went in with, it was an exercise in imagination, kind of scary. Kind of horrifying, not gonna lie. Michael Bay, very technical. I did 13 hours for him. He's very. It's a lot of different elements being coordinated simultaneously. The weapons, visual effects, practical effects, smoke, explosions. The actors, extras. And if you look at his frame, right. He layers the frames with all these different elements. So you can look in 13 hours, there's scenes where we were on the roof trying to find, these guys coming, advancing towards us. But if you look to the very back, as far back as you can see, there's smoke and fire and people running, and he brings that all the way to the foreground, and it's really wild, man. He's very, he's a tough boss, but he's a brilliant boss, So like I said, they all have a certain strength that, stands out to me.
That's amazing. Man,
yeah.
How do you mentally prepare for a character?
It depends what the role is, and it depends on, what is needed, right? So, 13 hours. So I was playing a guy that was, an actual, GRS guy that was at, in that conflict, and he was on set with us. So, and playing somebody real, it started with phone calls and getting to know him and conversations, and, trying to gently kind of dig into what his experiences were, and figure out how I was going to translate that and do him honor, right? And on screen. And so the responsibility of not letting Mark Geist down weighed heavy on me. At the same time, you know, you have a responsibility to make the character interesting. So if Mark's story, you know, isn't visual, he doesn't translate visually interesting, there's a balance, right? You gotta take a little creative license and figure out how to make it facilitate the story in a without falsifying anything, right? So and then to give you a different example on a completely different a different perspective, rather, I did a movie called The Tinder Bar that George Clooney directed, and I played a drunk, alcoholic, abusive, horrible father that comes into his son's life and disrupts everything, and and becomes this horrible influence on his kids. So that began with a novel. I read the book, did a lot of research, and then you have to kind of dig deep and find sides of yourself that you may not have anything in common with this character, but you want to find something that's unlike, that you dislike about yourself, that you can apply to the character, that helps you become somebody that people despise, right? So it may be a little nugget of something that you have to just kind of cultivate into, otherwise you're lying. This is the misconception, is that acting's easy, right? People kind of go, dude, I get, 10 people a day going, I think I'm going to become an actor. How do you do that? You know what I mean? I just decided yesterday, I think I'm going to become an actor. What do I got to do? Get a headshot and then what? And it takes so much more investigation into yourself, figuring out who you are, what you love about yourself, what you hate about yourself. Like, you have to explore all these, where your pain is, for you, because if you don't believe what you're doing on camera, then the audience isn't going to buy it. You're only as good as you're selling to yourself, right? And I think it's one of the things, to ramble on for you, that keeps me in combat boots, because I try to bring a little humanity to the soldiers that I'm playing on screen, as opposed to being a two-dimensional grunt that just barks orders and pulls the trigger, right? So I think that's what people identify with, and also that I care about looking like I belong behind the weapon, right? So there's that too. But there's the technical, and then there's let me put some life in this guy so that people care, right? So that people are invested, right? So yeah, that's what I would say to make that was a really long-winded answer to your question, but yeah.
I love it. That's exactly what people need to hear. It shows to me that you're passionate about what you do.
Yeah, I care about it. I do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely appreciated by somebody like me that is a filmmaker that's trying to capture that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's the tips and tricks and those stories when you talk about Del Toro and a few other directors, is like, wow. And I don't have that scape to talk to those people to say, hey, I need advice. What would you do in this situation?
Here's what, advice, because I'll tell you, and I can say this because my kid is in film school, right? He's
nice.
He's trying to direct. And so, the advice that I give to him as a director is to take some acting classes, and not because you want to act, but because you want to be able to communicate to actors what you need, right? And in order to communicate to actors what you need, you have to speak that language, right? And there's one, it earns respect from the actors that you're hiring, right? Because what happens is if people don't believe you, or people think that you don't know what you're talking about, or that you're a novice in comparison, right? That they just inevitably do what they want anyway. You know what I mean? This is the so to gain the respect, and it happens all the time. New directors gain that respect by being able to communicate what they need specifically and how to get there. Like Spielberg in Saving Private Ryan, it was such a little piece of direction, but he was like, look, when we find you on the bridge, I come up out of the weeds with Matt Damon, and I'm his commanding officer, and then I think a few scenes later, maybe I'm on the bridge breaking down what we're doing here in this town, and to Tom Hanks, right? And and he was like, listen, you're exhausted. You're exhausted, but you have to communicate this to him. And so, in order to kind of like demonstrate your tiredness, I want you to sort of be easily distracted. You need to focus. You need to like, I need to see you trying to focus, but he goes, hear a dog. Get distracted from me. Hear a dog off camera. Turn, hear the dog, and then come back and so that we're doing something that's interesting, that gives a little inner life to this character, right? In the midst of this kind of like exposition, right? So like little things like that, is kind of what I tell my kid, man, and it's a collaboration. Everybody's bringing something to the table, but the director wants the actors to add to the vision, right? To put something that in the final product that he didn't see necessarily, or that wasn't in the script, so you can manipulate or inspire the actors to kind of, add to it, or just like cultivate their thought process, right? By speaking the language.
I like that.
Yeah,
that's inspiring for sure. Wow, that's a lot to think about for sure.
Yeah,
I like that.
But I mean, it's cool though. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a cool thing. It's you're building something, but it's not a one-man show. You need all the parts working at optimum speed.
Yeah, true. What inspired you to make the shift into directing as well?
Boredom.
Yep.
Really, I was just bored. I was like, I gotta reinvent the wheel. Like I've just been doing it, for too long. So, I have an art degree. I went to art school.
Nice.
I got my bachelor's in fine arts, and so it was kind of something that made me feel like I was sort of accessing a side of my brain that I don't often, and again, it was really exciting for me. And my first movie was about a veteran, and it was just Sergeant Will Gardner. If you haven't seen it, I mean, it was so beautifully embraced by the veteran community, and it has a comedic through line, so it's digestible. It's about a guy that's, going through, inspired by an actual Army Ranger that I know, but going through some difficulties, but remains heroic through the story, inspires other people in the story, even though he's at the bottom of his barrel. It was a real kind of hopefully positive, thing to put out there at the time. And to answer your question, I just, I needed to reinvent my world,
Do you have any plans to direct soon? Something else?
I'd like to direct some more stuff. I got a script that I'm trying to bring to Italy. I'm Italian. I'm an Italian citizen, a dual citizen. So nice. I got family in Rome. Yeah. And so I wrote a script for this little town in the mountains, and I think I found the money for it, so I'm trying to get that going, and that's really I've always had stuff on the that I'm hustling, but that's the most real right now.
That's nice.
Yeah.
The Western film that you were showing on IG.
Yeah.
What's that about? What's that film about?
Well, it hasn't been announced, so I don't know how much I can get into it. They've told me they're not happy I put the photos up, and and they've told me to keep my mouth shut. So, but it's based on a book, and it seems it's very good. It's going to be amazing. And I'll probably put it out there in a second. I'm just waiting for the press release to come out. But yeah, anyway, I did a Western that's coming out. So
yeah, is that your first Western?
It's the second Western. The first time I've been on screen probably without a weapon ever, and I come in with a crew of gunslingers, but no, I did a Western, a pilot for Amazon called Edge. That was like a graphic novel Western, and Shane Black directed it. And, yeah. So my second venture into the Old West.
Let's hope it catches on, because you have the look.
Yeah, it was fun, man. I know. I was like, I ride, I shoot. Somebody give me one of these things,
Did you have any training for that role? I mean, was there any kind of formal training?
No, that one I just kind of showed up with the accent. A lot of times, like when sometimes these characters sort of come to life when you put the clothes on. It's kind of like it's pretty. Like at a certain point, I know how to play the hard ass, so I'm the bad guy in the movie, but when you put the hat on and the suit and they give you your cigar and you got the little pocket watch here hanging off your vest, and and your guys behind you, and the space starts to come alive, and then you're like, oh, this is who this guy is. Okay, I got it, and then you get the walk down and see how everybody's relating to you. Yeah, no.
Man,
it was one of those. Yeah, it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be really good.
God, I can't wait to see OSIRIS now. I saw the trailer today. I saw the post about it. I was like, oh, I need to see this on the screen.
Yeah. So OSIRIS comes out the 25th. It'll be streaming everywhere. This is an amazing, amazing film. It's one of the things that I love about it is that it's a throwback. There are visual effects elements in the movie, but the creatures are practical. So they use, like Guillermo del Toro does this. He uses actors in suits, right?
Yeah.
So they went out, they found creature actors. A lot of stunt guys were doing it too that had that sort of skill set. And the creature artist, his name's Todd Masters, amazing guy. He built the head. So basically the actors come up to the shoulders of the creatures. The top of the actor's head ends at the shoulders of the creature. On top of the actor's head is the creature's head that's animatronic, so it's robotics. And off camera, while we were acting with these creatures, are creature artists working remote controls, controlling the facial expressions, the saliva coming out of the mouth, everything. They're painting them with sweat and doing all kinds of practical, old school, not non-computer generated monsters. And it's so cool, man. It's so effective. Tactically, I'm gonna go out on a limb. Top 3-4 movies that I've seen where the tactics are so on point. It's a military sort of, tier 1 unit, moving tactically through the ship, trying to survive. And like I said, our SEAL Team 6, former SEAL Team 6 operator buddy that was tech advising was, on top of us with all that stuff, and it looks great. Funny, entertaining, scary. You know, it's kind of a crack a beer and make some popcorn type of movie.
Yeah.
And the kids can watch it, you know. I mean, there's some F-bombs, but outside of that, you know, it's good times for the whole family.
Yeah, one of the recognizable faces that I saw besides yours was Linda Hamilton. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's iconic.
Man.
I mean, she's just,
That is.
Yeah, the original female badass. I mean, what a sweetheart, and really brought her A game to the film. She's just so cool, and yeah, I encourage everybody to see it. Streaming July 25th. You'll love it.
Well, I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, can you share a moment on set where you thought there was something unexpected, something that it could have been a day of stunts, or it's kind of like acting taught you something unexpected during a role?
It taught me something unexpected. You know, there's like little moments that I hate to come into a scene with a preconceived idea of what I want to happen in the scene, right?
Yep.
Sometimes you have to do that if you're working with actors that don't have a lot of experience, or that aren't really, that you're not buying, you're not really believing, you know. Sometimes you got to just kind of make it interesting and make choices and force them. You know, and ideally it's not what you do, but ideally you have actors that, you know, have some game, and you put them all together, and they all know the words, and they put whatever inspires them in the moment behind the words, and that's what fuels the scene, right? So it's like playing a game of tennis, right? You know, you serve, they hit to your backhand, you're like, oh shit, it's a backhand, boom, right? They hit to your forehand, you got to run across the court, return that, but you're just waiting to see where the ball's going to go next, right? That's how scenes kind of develop organically. It's like, go ahead, hit me something, serve me a ball, boom, let's go, let's play, let's rally. I'm going to return what you hit to me, right? Boom. And then shit happens that isn't planned, and it makes the scene fucking awesome, right? So there's little lulls in the combat where Will let us play, or the director, you know. And so my things that catch me off guard are always like working with great actors that hit you a ball that's got a lot of spin on it, and you're able to return it, right? Nice. And there's a actress in the movie named Brianna Hildebrand that's in the Deadpool franchise.
Yep.
She's amazing. And she and I starred in another movie together that they're in post-production on now, called Bethesda. But she is a terrific actress, and we have some stuff. They're not huge dialogue scenes, but it was enough for me to go, wow, she's got some game, you know, like this girl can act. So those little moments were what, you know, kind of, you know, threw me off guard. It just in that you sign up for an action film, you're not expecting, you know, to have amazing acting moments, you know, but when they do happen, it's just it's brilliant. It makes it great, you know.
Where the scene shines. Wow, it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. Do you find it harder to direct yourself or others?
I mean, I sort of direct myself even when I'm not directing, you know, like I am my own director, right?
Yep.
I mean, you know, the director of the film can change what I'm doing, and they do often, but I love directing other people because I love, you know, that creative process, and I love, like, discovering things with other artists, and yeah, it's so I don't know which is more difficult, but I probably maybe maybe others, I think, but it's more fun.
Yeah.
Because I know what I can do. I'm finding out what they can do.
True.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Do you do a lot of the writing for your own films too, or like for Will
I've
Gardner?
only written one that was produced. The other one that I directed, which is hilarious. It's a comedy called The Manson Brothers Midnight Zombie Massacre, and the last thing I wanted to do was a zombie comedy, but I did it because it was very funny.
Nice.
That one I did a polish on with the writers. We kind of worked to kind of make it fit within our budget, and then also kind of make scenes funnier and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I think I do get into the writing a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that. I do want to see that though.
Yeah, no, it's
I know.
hilarious, man. It's one of my favorites.
Is it, what platform can we see it on? Is it on Amazon or?
I mean, it's on Amazon, it's on
Okay.
iTunes, I'm sure. It's on all of those. Yeah.
Nice. I'm definitely gonna have to look for that one.
Yeah.
How do you handle creative burnout or self-doubt?
Self-doubt. I don't think I get burnt out creatively. I mean, I said I was bored, which is what got me to so there was a little burnout with the acting, but I still love it. Self-doubt was something that I used to go through, when I was starting, and it's horrifying. It's really it's scary to be in front of, and it happens when I don't believe what I'm doing. So if it's bad material and I have to say it, and I don't believe what I'm saying, is when this is what used to, it doesn't happen to me anymore, but I would get nervous, and in auditions too. Like if I just knew that I wasn't right for the role, and my agents would say, go anyway, just go, make fans, don't go, you need to get your face out there. If I don't believe what I'm doing, then it makes me insecure. Um, Getting over it is generally so a little secret. So I used to get over it by taking a moment, and this is kind of weird, and imagining everybody in front of me sitting on the toilet. And it basically makes everybody equal. You know what I mean? It evens the playing field when you realize that these guys wake up in the morning and go sit on the pot too. You know what I mean? So, and the other thing is not being desperate. And this is advice that I give to anybody in the arts, anybody that is selling something to somebody, because when an actor comes in for a role, right, this is what a lot of people don't consider, is that movie is costing them anywhere from $3 to $60 million to make, right? Let's go to the top, 100 million. Pacific Rim was, 300 million. These guys want a return on their investment, right?
True.
Nobody's going to put even $2 million into a movie and not caring about their money coming back.
Yeah.
The only way you're getting a role is if you sell your stardom to them, right? You being a movie star, you being somebody that's got some gold to put into this project, that's going to translate monetarily, right? That's going to make it a better movie, that's going to make the character pop, that engages the audience, and that's what's going to bring people back to watch it over and over again. So, or tell others. So you got to go in being confident. Sometimes you got to fake that confidence. If let's say you need the money, let's say you can't pay your rent and it's a job opportunity, and you need it so bad that you look desperate. Nobody's going to hire a desperate actor or buy your product if they sense that you're not giving them the next best thing, right?
Sure.
So confidence is huge in this game, and I've had to fake it a lot in my career, and I've come into the room when it was very real a lot, because I knew that I had something to make it better,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
I like that answer. It's great. How's the temperament in the industry now since the strikes that happened? I've asked this question before with other filmmakers, and they don't know with confidence what's the state of the industry at the moment.
I can't tell you. It's such a weird time. They're not making as much.
Yeah.
They're not paying as much. It's very, very difficult to break in right now because the agents aren't taking on new clients because there's just not enough work, and so I don't know, man. To answer your question, and AI is a real threat to a lot of industry jobs. There's it's incredible what they're doing with it. It's a real uncertain space right now. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of sitting there waiting to see what happens. Every time I go onto Instagram or YouTube, some AI thing pops up and blows me away.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where is it going? Who knows? But here's the thing that AI can't give you, and this is in the creative space, is that it can't give you, human pain, right? And it can't give you things you love and like the organic elements that are inherently human, that a jaded past, right? It can't give you things like that. It can synthesize something, it can kind of give you its interpretation of what that might be, collecting information from the internet or however it works. But the things that make stories real and make performances real that's in here, it can't give you that, so that's our saving grace. But the wild card is how many people care, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we got to figure out. It'll all come to the surface eventually. But
yeah, you just can't beat the human element when it comes to emotion, to storytelling, to acting, to actually putting together a production, whether it's small or large.
Yeah,
just the effort and the time it takes to put together a 30-second commercial is just, people would be blown away if they knew how much time it took just to shoot that little commercial. And there's 100%. So much passion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've been working on game shows lately, like the Family Feud show, just watching how behind the scenes of how that works. And I know it's not what I'm used to, because I'm used to narrative, like what we do. But I'm seeing the whole show is so technical, but every one of those people is passionate. And I just can't see that show being AI at all. There's no way.
Yeah. I agree with you.
If they ever take AI and put it into a body and they have a human scale robot, it still wouldn't be there. Mannerisms, the efforts, the emotions that come out of it. So I'm like, I think eventually it may come to fruition, but I think it's so minuscule.
Yeah, I agree with you, brother. Yeah.
And So what are some advices that you would give to somebody like me that's trying to make things happen, who is struggling with creativity from your past experiences? Because I know you have a lot. I saw your IMDb.
I mean, the advice that I give to people is that, you know, you got to wake up every single day and you got to do something for your career. You can't be complacent in this business, right? If you, 95% of the people that try to come into it, you know, aren't aggressive enough, in my opinion, to make it. You know, some people get lucky, you get the right agent, they do all the work, you know, okay, fine. It rarely happens that way, but you have to, especially in this day and age, you have to make your own movies. You got to write, you got to shoot them. You can make movies on iPhones now, you know, so there's no excuse. There's editing programs that you can buy on the App Store. You know, you really have to do your own thing while the phone's not ringing, right?
True.
And then as far as creative, you know, look, it's like anything. You gotta study, you know. You gotta, if you want to direct movies, you know, you've got to be able to break a story down. You have to be able to tell a story. You have to be able to create character arcs for your actors. You got to pick color palettes. You got to know what the tone is, the music is, you know, the you got to go into timing sessions, and, you know, but you got to add, you know, background elements. I mean, your imagination has to be, I love it.
Yeah.
You know, sound design is just so interesting, and music's so important, but you know, but you really got to understand lenses. There's a lot of studying, you know, and it's the same with acting. It's like, you know, you gotta study, you gotta do scenes, you gotta do stuff in front of people, you know, so you're comfortable, so you're ready when you get an audition. You know, you gotta know if you have to cry, you gotta know where to go, man. You know, like, you can't fake it, you know. You know, I mean, even fucking big tough guys have to figure out how to cry on cue. You know, it's like, so, you know, there's a lot of investigation that you have to, you know, do. And, you know, yeah, it's just work. Just do the work. That's my advice. Do the work, you know.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
How can the fans, the audiences, see more about you, your work? What website?
I mean, a lot of my stuff, like all the promotional stuff I post on Instagram, you know, I'll put some personal shit up every now and again, but Max Martini LA on Instagram. It's the only social media account that I have, and it's the verified one. There's a lot of fake ones, so don't go to those. And it's public, so don't request anybody. But Max Martini LA, you know, and I'm out promoting these films now. I got another movie coming out called Hollywood Grit, which comes out August 22nd, I think, in AMC theaters. And I got 2 movies in the can that are, so follow me on Instagram and I'll be, you know, pushing everything. Yeah.
Man, congratulations on everything. That's what, 3 or 4 movies in 1 year?
Yeah, I got today. It was a good year.
Wow.
For me.
Man, congratulations.
But thanks for having me on, man. I mean, this was so fun to talk to you, and, you know, we've been following each other for a long time. So nice to finally, you know, get on the show.
Man, I can't wait to meet you in person. I got to come to one of the premieres.
Yes, do it, please.
And hopefully we can collaborate on something. I would love to work with you on something. Oh, man, I look forward to it. But I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for your time.
Thank you, and thank you for promoting the show. Go see Osiris. You'll love it. Keep forgetting what the camera is. Go see Osiris.
Thank you.
Right, I sure take care. Thank you for having me, man. All right.
Yes, sir. We'll see you soon.
Huge thanks to our guest for joining us on this episode of the Composition Theory Podcast. Please subscribe and follow us on socials in the links below. Good night.